Hello, I'm Benedict. I'm a co-founder of Foursquare Tutoring, and this is problem 18 from the 2023 AMC 12A. It was also problem 22 from this year's 10A. And it reads as follows. Circles C1 and C2 both have radius 1, and the distance between their centers is 1/2, and that's shown here. C3 is the largest circle that is internally tangent to both C1 and C2, and C4 is internally tangent to both C1 and C2, and externally tangent to C3. What is the radius of C4? So I'm just gonna drop this picture in here. You're not gonna need anything like this. You don't need to label everything again. But I didn't want to run the risk of drawing an absolutely horrible diagram. So here we are. We have the two centers here of the larger circles, and this is just the radii. And what I'm going to do is just the math counts trick. It's connect the centers of all the circles. So we have this, try and get some Pythagoras out, and then this is the center of C3. So now what do we have? Well, I know that this whole thing here, this is 1. Because this is the center of a circle with radius 1. And I'm going to let some variables happen here. So this here in red can be the radius r. That means that this whole thing is 1 minus r. Wow, that is terrible. Okay, so this is 1 minus r because this just 1 minus whatever this is. Cool. And now I want to find out what the height here would turn out to be. So to do that, I'm just going to draw the rest of the circle to find the radius. So extending this here, I know that this whole thing has to be 1/2. Because again, this is the radius of a circle that has radius 1. So that means that this also has to be 1/2 in order for the radius to be 1. And same logic here, because this diagram is symmetric, because C1 and C2 are congruent. This is also 1/2. So the radius of this whole thing, radius of C3 is just 1/2 3 times. And then we take 1/2 of that because we want to divide it by 2. And this turns out to be 3/4. So that means this is 3/4 here. And that also means this is 3/4 here. So we can go in and label that here. And what is this again? This is r. So this whole thing here is 3/4 plus r. And what is this? Well, this is half of this. It is half of 1/2. So this is 1/4. And now we can finally do some Pythagorean theorem. 1/4 squared plus 3/4 plus r squared equals 1 minus r squared. This is 1/16 plus 9/16 plus r squared plus 3r over 2 equals r squared minus 2r plus 1. R squareds can go away. We can add 2r to both sides. 3r over 2 plus 2r plus 10 over 16 equals 1. This is 7r over 2 equals 6 over 16, which is the same thing as 3 over 8. Multiply everything by 2/7. Cancel this here, and we get 3 over 28 is r. And that is choice D.